You said when you come.
You can just take 5 minutes, Kapil, not more than that, okay?
All right.
Okay. First, Kapil, what's going on? Kapil, I mean, the goal for PGTI when you first came onto the board was to ensure that there was a substantial calendar. Would you say that you achieved at least some part of that goal?
I think Uttam can answer that, but I think something is better than nothing. What we come to know about last year and now it's looking much better. I want to say thanks to Hyderabad, J&K, my Prasad is sitting, these type of people coming, Manoj, American Express, they come on the board. So I think it's looking good, but still we have to cover long.
Uttam, what would you say? I mean, it's a substantial calendar, 10 events, 6.6 crores in prize money. I mean, the weight seems to have been pretty nice.
No, I think it's pretty good because considering 10 events in a span of 3.5 months is as decent as it can be. We try to put in as much. Of course, there are more on the road, except for just 2 weeks. 1 week, of course, we keep off, which is for Diwali. But apart from that, I think it's a pretty good schedule. And we just hope that we keep the momentum up for the 22 season.
Mr. Prasad, you were very eloquent about your experience at the Golf Honda, and I also heard how you wanted to take Kapil to Vegas to play golf. I'm assuming. What would you say? I mean, what made you finally to come to golf? I mean, it's been such a fantastic sport for the corporates. Finally, you've taken the plunge.
So I started golf in college. My friend, a good friend, his father was in the Air Force, and as you know, golf evolved from armed forces here in India. So that's how I was introduced to a friend, and since then it's been a passion, and also it's good to get out in the fresh air and walk around 10 kilometers when you play a round of golf. So. And more than that, we do a lot of work with caddies in TNGF in Chennai. We support them, and I think that needs to be done by corporates. I think there should be a CSR fund, I think, for golf too. I think if that's done, I think more corporates will join. I think that's what I asked Mr. Uttam. Just something that came to my mind. I think we should support golf. I think there should be a sports CSR has to grow in India.
May I ask you one straight direct question? How much of golf did you watch at the Olympics? Anirban and Mane playing, and then later Aditi and Diksha playing.
I watched Aditi Ashok definitely play, and I think that's been a great, motivation for a lot of young ladies to, I think, take up future. And I think, talking to my friends' daughters who are now keen on taking up golf, I think golf will probably grow, and thanks to Aditi and people like Anirban and a lot of other people.
What kind of satisfaction was it for you to ensure that Uday and Mane actually got into the Olympics, largely because of the tournaments that were conducted by the PGTI in the early part of 2021 and before that in 2020?
I think firstly, he was a very deserving player because he played his heart out in those tournaments. He was right up there, but unfortunately because of the pandemic, we could not put up enough events for him at that point in time, or rather he could not get into any events in Europe. So we did try, but in spite of that, he did make it for the Olympics. I think I was so happy and glad that he did because, like I said, he was right up there, had the events. Pandemic not taking place or whatever, he would have made it on his own team anyway. So I'm glad that it all happened and came around right back.
Kapil, there was a time when you actually expressed an interest that you wanted to play competitive golf for India at least the Asian Games. And then you forsake that plan and kind of started promoting golf. Would you like to come back to senior golf at some point in time?
No, when I have an intention, then also I was thinking to go and play seniors or amateur golf. I never planned more than that. But yes, I'd like to see this game should get promoted more and more. And I'll be very happy to see that.
Do you know that I'm sure you do, that there are a lot of celebrity players from other sports like basketball, football, who come into golf and they love golf. Gareth Bale recently sponsored a tournament on the European Tour. How long is it before we see a Kapil Dev Invitational? I won't say even $1 million, but maybe $500,000 on the Indian Tour.
Oh, if you're backing me, maybe tomorrow. Are you backing me?
Yeah.
If you back me, I'll announce tomorrow. For me, I need a corporate with me or behind me or front of me to announce anything like that. But yes, nevertheless, now you've given me idea. We will definitely try to do something for the golfers.
Uttam, one of the toughest things for any CEO of the golf or for that matter any federation is to find repeat sponsors. You've done a pretty good job so far. How many of these 10 sponsors have 10 events on the calendar? How many of them have come back, and how many do you hope to kind of convince for them to come back into 2020?
So I don't think it's a matter of convincing, because the moment they step into the arena of professional golf, they are already convinced. Just like Mr. Prasad right here, he's already convinced that yes, I mean, this is the sport. But it's just unfortunate that some of the companies, had to let go of a sport or a social function or whatever because of their own corporate, the commercials and so financial status. That it all depends on that. But otherwise, they are very, very happy to stay on board. We have companies which have been on board for the last 18 years, 15 years. So we have companies on that.
Or if out of 10, one company goes, that's okay, because every company have their own responsibilities. And I think majority of the people, once they come into this game, they don't leave.
Yeah, definitely.
Mr. Prasad, the final word always belongs to the sponsors. Would you say somebody like you who's exhibited a personal interest in the sport, how far would you like to go and how far would you like Indian golf to be?
I see it as a multi-dimensional approach. One is to be able to work with this sport is thanks to PGTI. We don't have personally the wherewithal to do it. So that's thanks to Mr. Uttam Singh and people like Mr. Kapil Dev. So PGTI is able, giving us the venue to help golf. But also we need to help the caddies. I feel strongly that, caddies are the ones that are closest to the game, that keep us, they're the bridge between us and the game. So we need to help caddies. A lot of them really struggle, as people know in the courses, and I think corporates should help them on that level. And the third one is, I think healthcare companies like Amruntanjan should develop, and we do develop products that are unique for sports and, designed for sports, like our Electro Plus drink with electrolytes and minerals is suited for golf. When you spend 5 hours in the sun, and I think studies show that you burn almost 500-600 calories. I think you lose a lot of important fluids. So I think across levels like that, we need to work with golf, I think, to succeed and how to support the game.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.